guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see from this title, is another story time. Oh, I know so many of you guys love hearing story times, and I love filming them, and I love watching story times. That's like the thing I love to watch the most on YouTube. I've literally filmed my third video today. I already filmed this makeup tutorial and I filmed the TMI tag, so that's why I'm wearing the same makeup and same clothing. I'm not even going to try to front you guys. So if you guys haven't yet, please go grab a snack, grab popcorn, grab yourself a tea. Please come back and join me for another story time. The hair flip. Okay guys, so this is going to be a bit of like a random one. There's not really no conclusion to it, but I hope you guys find it a bit interesting, a bit funny and entertaining. So I passed my driving test probably about 5 years ago, and I remember when I first started my driving lessons, it was really hard for me to get the hang of like putting your clutch down and stuff like that. In the UK, we actually drive manuals. We don't really drive automatic. Some cars are into automatic, but most of the cars in the UK are manual, so it's stick shift, you know, when you change your gears and all that shit. Changing gears, yeah. I remember thinking like, I'm never gonna get the fucking hang of driving. I found it really difficult. You know, like some people are naturally good at swimming, naturally good at this, but I just was so bad at freaking driving, guys. Like, I really had to like train myself to remember like gear 1, and you put the gas down, you put the freaking gas up, and do the clutch and everything. It was so hard for me. I was trying to find a driving instructor, and I actually went through 3 different driving instructors. My first ever driving instructor, it was actually recommended to me by a friend, and she wasn't even that much of a friend. She was just in my class. I don't know why I'm calling her my friend, but she ended up making me go through all this hell because of her recommendation. I'm going to try to describe him for you guys, okay? So just so you can get a picture of him. So he was like about 55, 60 years old. So he was an old geezer, right? He was an old man. He had a turban, but his hair was like really messy, so it was coming out of his turban. But he had a really, really big belly, so he was unfit, okay? And I remember every single time we used to drive, he would never turn on the music, and he used to breathe so heavy, guys. It used to be like silence. You know, when waiting like traffic, like he's like, and his belly would go in and out like a fucking pregnant woman. But I remember when he used to like smile at me, I remember one of his teeth at the front here was missing, and he had a really long other tooth. So it was really obvious that the tooth was missing. And he had about 3 teeth because his smile wasn't that wide. So it was like 3 yellowish teeth and then 1 tooth missing. He was really nice at the start, but I remember when I first went into my lesson, so you normally book like an hour's driving lesson, right? And I remember it was like £20 or something like that. And if you book like a bulk session, you get it for a bit cheaper. So I remember for my first like 10 sessions, I used to get in the car in the passenger side, and he used to drive maybe like 20 minutes down the road, right? He used to talk to me about this is what you look out for, blah 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 blah, and I used to sit in the passenger side like yep. I didn't actually know that you're meant to be driving for the whole 1 hour, so he fucking scammed my ass basically. So I only drove for probably about like 15 minutes for the whole 1 hour driving lesson. He was just so bad, guys. You can tell he's been doing it for years, so he didn't really care about his job anymore. He was a driving instructor that I also had to learn my theory test with. So in the UK, you have to do something called a theory test, which is like a written test. I don't know if you do that in other countries, but here you have to do your theory and then you have your practical. So you have to have your theory to do your practical. They won't let you do your practical test unless you have this certificate. And once you pass your theory test, you have 2 years to do your practical. If you don't do your practical in time, then you have to redo your theory.
No, you don't.
What is it then?
You have it for life.
Your theory test? No, you don't.
You do, you have it for life.
No, you don't.
It's only CBT that you runs out 2 years.
Oh.
Theory, you have it for life.
Alright, be quiet. Just hush your mouth. Close your ears so you're not interrupting me again. I remember doing my theory test, and then my sister had an old, whatchamacallit, it's like a little exam thing for you to do at home. So I remember doing my theory test, and then there was 2 parts. So you have to do your hazard part and then also the multiple choice bit. So the hazard bit is like really easy. You just click as soon as the hazard comes into the screen, right? But obviously when you're doing it at the time, you're like, fuck it, you don't know what the fuck a hazard is. Like, you know, as soon as the cat comes across the road, it's like a hazard straight away. So I only had the bit where you do the multiple choice. I didn't have the hazard part. So I remember telling my driving instructor at the time, and he was like, why don't you come over to my house and then I can help you with the theory? And I was like, okay. And I obviously didn't think nothing of it because he's an old grizzly fat man, so I was just like, okay. Guys, how cringy is this, right? All the time, I used to do my driving test in the afternoon, evening time, around 6 PM, and he always used to say to me, oh, what you doing next week? Maybe afterwards we can go and get a curry. Right, this is not being so typical, but this is what he said to me, right? Because I told him I don't like curry because it's really spicy and I don't like spicy food. Kept insisting to me, like, no, you can get mild ones, and I was like, really, are you sure? Obviously now I know you can get freaking mild curries. But at the time, I genuinely thought every single time you get a curry is really spicy. Because my sister, whenever she orders curry, it's always really spicy because she gets the freaking jalfazia or what, I forgot what it's called. But she orders a really, really spicy one. He kept asking me like, oh, do I like curry? Do I like curry? And I was like, no, I don't like curry because it's really spicy. I don't like spicy food. And he kept insisting for me every single time, like next week, like, oh, make sure you book off some time next week. I'll take you to go eat curry. He kept freaking asking me, right? But I didn't want to go with him. He put it on me, guys. He put it on me, this old crusty, musty man. All the time I would have to like say, oh, sorry, I'm babysitting my freaking turtle. I used to make all these fucking excuses. He kept telling me like, oh, to come to his house and do theory and stuff like that. Now that I think about it, I'm like, this crusty, musty, old, musty, fusty man kept trying to freaking like try it on with me or something. But after that, guys, when we used to go on our driving lessons, he used to, this sounds so disgusting, but he used to put his hand on my thigh. Pretend this is my thigh. He used to put his hand on my thigh, and you know, if you drive a manual, you'll know you have to put the clutch up slowly and then the gas down slowly. So it's like your feet are doing this, right? And you have to do the clutch at a certain rate. If you do it too fast, it's gonna stall the car. So you have to like control your foot basically. So he kept putting his hand on my thigh and he kept saying, put your foot up slowly on the clutch. And he kept doing like his hand like slowly on my thigh, like slowly, slowly. And I was just thinking like, stop fucking touching me, you motherfucker. I didn't think that was weird until I went to my friend the next week or something. And I used to say to her like, does he put his hand on your thigh and tell you to lift your clutch up slowly? And then she was like, yeah, he does that. I think he does that to everybody. And I'm like, okay then, because I've never been to no other driving instructor, so I thought this is just normal, right? Every single time since I went to his house, he kept doing it to me. And I remember talking, I think to my sister or someone, and someone was like, that is fucking weird. Someone shouldn't be touching you at all in your driving lessons. So she told me like, you should cancel, like don't see him anymore. And I was like, oh fuck, okay. Like I didn't know. I know it sounds so stupid, but I didn't know any different. Like, obviously now that I look back at it and I'm like a wiser woman now. At that time I was like 16. So I honestly like, I was a dumb bitch. I'm not gonna lie, I was a dumb motherfucking bitch. So in the end, I remember I went on holiday and I told him that I was gonna go to Vietnam for 3 months. I think I actually went to Vietnam for 2 weeks or something like that. But I told him I was gonna go for 3 months. And actually 3 months later he messaged me saying, hi, do you want to carry on with driving lessons and stuff like that? And I did end up replying. So that was that first driving instructor. I ended up getting another driving instructor who was a part-time fireman. You'd think that would be like a hot fireman, but no, he was like a bald-headed, like middle-aged crisis man. He was really nice. His name was Gary, and I actually called him the other day, guys. I thought it was my friend Gary, the plastic boy, right? If you guys don't follow the plastic boy, he's like lovely chocolate man. One of like the nicest person I've ever met. So I thought I ended up calling Gary my blogger friend, but I actually called Gary my old driving instructor. How cringe is that? I remember with him, it was so hard because he used to be a fireman, so he wasn't free all the time. He was like working as part-time. So whenever I wanted to book in for a driving lesson, he would always be like, you didn't have this available, you didn't have that available. I ended up doing maybe three tests with him, and I failed them all, guys. I failed all 3 of the tests. Do you know how much it is to fucking do a test, right? So you have to pay to do a driving test, which I think was, how much is it, £100 or something like that to do your driving test? I failed 3 times on that motherfucker. I remember one of them was so bad and I literally failed within like 10 minutes. I was driving down the road and he told me to turn right and I went down the wrong way. You meant to go down on the left because we drove on the left hand side, but I went down on the right thinking I was in America and the car was coming this way. He had to slam his foot on the brake. So as soon as I knew that he put his foot on the brake, I was like, I don't want to even finish because we only left like 10 minutes down the road from the driving instructor place. So we literally got out of the car because you can't drive the car back as well. You have to leave the car wherever it is, and we literally walked back. And then I saw Gary and he was like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. So basically, I didn't pass with him, and then my friend ended up passing on her first time with this other driving instructor, and then I ended up going with that driving instructor, and then I kind of just fogged off Gary, and he kept messaging me like, when do you want to book your lesson? When do you want to book your next lesson? And I used to not reply. I went to this driving instructor, and then it was with AA actually, and I remember this guy, he used to always eat McDonald's. He was a really, really big fella, and he always had so many sweet and sour sauces in his car, like dotted around everywhere. And then I ended up passing my first time with that driving instructor, so I can't remember that guy's name, but yeah, thank you so much if you're watching this video. So the period between I was seeing Gary and then I was seeing my new driving instructor, my mum actually bought me a car because I felt like I could drive, right? This is the funny thing, whenever I went to my lessons and stuff, that's why Gary kept pushing me to do my tests and stuff like that, because he was like, you can drive. Like, as soon as I got into my lesson, I went into the car and I drove the whole way and I was fine. But it's the fact that with me, I hate being under pressure. I hate when people scrutinize me. Whenever I feel like, oh my god, I'm in like a test environment, that's when I'll fucking forget forget everything and like my head goes blank and all that stuff. So I ended up telling my mum, like, look, I really want a car that I can drive. So we ended up getting a car for me. I had a Toyota Aygo, 2-door car, really small, dinky winky, like cute little girly car, and I had it for 5 years, okay? So I ended up buying this car. The car was like fucking $5,000. I remember this fucking car, and we got such a shit deal with it. That salesman must have been like rubbing his mitts together, like 3 dumb girls like come to buy a car. We ended up buying that car, and then I ended up driving under provisional license. So they ended up getting a driving instructor. I passed with him, and then happy days, oh happy days, oh happy days. I don't know the song, but yes. So also at this point, I was also with Greg, and I remember when we got a car, we was like, oh, we felt so free because we used to take the bus all the time. So driving, like, literally used to be like so fun for us. Me and Greg was like, no more public transport, no more TFL. We're like loving life, like you see me rolling, you hate it. Loving life. So I'm gonna fast forward into 1 year about how I crashed my car. If you guys don't know, one of my worst fears is to be in a car crash. Like, I dread it so much, like, you know, because I watch a lot of documentaries and I see what happens in car crashes and people lose their memory, they lose their limbs. It's such a scary thing, right? I don't really drive my car like big roads and stuff like that. I used to be actually really scared to drive my car. I remember I had my car after I passed my test. I used to be really scared to drive it unless someone else was in the car. We'd be so scared to drive by myself. And I remember, like, when I used to do like freelance jobs and stuff, Gran would have to drive me to my freelance job because even though I passed my test, but I was so scared of car crashes. And people was telling me that apparently like 60% of all new drivers get in car crashes. So I was like, oh hell no, I'm so scared. I'm like, what if I lose my leg? What if I freaking take the wrong turn? I could literally be so stupid like that. Like, I'm so scared, like, to hurt other people and obviously hurt myself as well. One day, guys, me and Gran was at his house and we was like, what should we get for lunch today? We're hungry. And we was both craving some chips and curry sauce from the local Sam's chip shop. So what happened was, this is so stupid. So this is his flat here, and you have to walk down this road here, and the chip shop was probably at the end of this road, okay? So this is Guy's flat, but if you drove, you have to drive like a U-shape out here and then go back. This is like a little alleyway you can pass through. But me and Guy, we're lazy motherfucking fat ass bitches, assholes. So we was like, hey, let's just get the car to the chip shop. I drove to the chip shop, so you go out here to the chip shop, right? And then after we've got the chicken chips, happy, loving life, got some salt and pepper wings, got some ribs, got some curry chips, loving life. So I was driving, right? So Gran went in to go get the food, I was driving. And then afterwards, I ended up putting the car in reverse, and I was like doing a U-turn, reversing it, and then I was going to spin back and go back down the road. I didn't know that there was a little motherfucking bollard thing. What's it called? A little pole, okay? It's a really, really short pole. You can't see it. It's not high where your mirrors are. It was in my blind spot, and they ended up reversing straight into the freaking pole. And I didn't know that I'd done it until all of a sudden I hear a and basically is my whole back window shattered because I reversed back into this pole. Right in the back, in the middle, and it made like a dent in my car, and then my whole back window smashed. It was like one of those moments where you're like, we looked at each other, and then Gran was like cussing me out. He was like, you fucking so stupid, look where you fucking go, get the fuck out of the car. And I was like, oh shit. Take off my seatbelt. We both like went out to look, and everything was shattered. There was glass everywhere. We were like, oh fuck. Gran ended up getting in the car. I ended up getting in the passenger seat. I don't know, with boys, I don't know why they get like this testosterone or something. They want to like fucking be fast and furious, like he's fucking Vin Diesel or something up in here. So he ended up putting the car in like first gear and like racing down the fucking road. So the road was not in that far. It was like this little small road. He ended up like putting it in like first gear. So obviously he'd go in first gear, and then you have to go left to go into where his house is, right? So he ended up going left, like, and he literally was doing this with one hand, and then the food, he left it on the dashboard, and then the food was dropping because he was turning like this with one hand. So he ended up putting the other hand out, like, oh, to save the fucking curry chips, right, on the dashboard. And then, because he was saving this, his hand swerved like this, and we ended up going straight through a bus stop. R.I.P. bitch. This was so scary because it happened so quick, guys. What's really weird is that there was no airbags that came out because it was right in the centre of the car. I think the airbag sensors in my car are on the 4 corners. So because it was literally like, it was like freaking as if it was like measured out to be right in the middle, right? So it was hit right in the middle, and the pole was literally like this. Obviously it's normal like this, it was like this, and my car was like split in the middle, like freaking someone opening their legs. And we looked at each other like, oh my god, what did you do? All of that to fucking save curry chips, which ended up being all over the floor anyway. And still the stains from that curry chips is in my car to this day. What had happened was, I just like crying. I was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? I ended up calling my sister like, oh, I was just in a car crash. I was so scared. I was crying. And then Gran was like freaking trying to start up the car. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? The car's gonna blow up. There was liquid fucking flowing everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, stop the car, there's something coming out. I thought it was like freaking gas, it's gonna set a light, it's gonna be like in the movies. I was like thinking of all these freaking things that could happen, right? But it ended up being the washing liquid that went everywhere. So in the end, Gran started to like push the car, and I was thinking like, what the fuck do you think you're doing, Mighty Hulk? This ain't no pushing the car situation. And he was like, fucking help me quick before the police come. Because if you guys didn't know, if you get caught damaging a street sign or something like that, the council makes you pay for that shit. I was like, oh my god, so I tried to push him, but I'm like a scrawny little rat, right? So I'm like trying to push this small, I know the eye goes really tiny, but me and Guy like trying to push the car, like, oh fuck. So we were trying to move the car, but we couldn't move it because we're scrawny little Asian asses. So luckily at the time, Gran had friends in the area, and literally it was like he called one friend over, and then the whole gang started to come over, and then we all ended up pushing the car back into the little side street. And then we ended up calling my sister. My sister came down, and I actually took the blame for Gran. I do want to say it was Gran that freaking crashed my car, because at the time my family didn't know about Gran. Only my sister knew about Gran, but not the rest of my family. If you guys haven't heard of my story time about how I hid my boy for 5 years, I'll leave the link up here. So at the time, only my older sister knew about Gran, so I had to take the rap for him, and I was like, I was driving and I actually crashed into the car for chicken and chips. I was the one that actually looked like a dumbass, even though Gran was the one that was calling me a dumbass because I was arrested to a pole. So anyways, I didn't consult it with my insurance because I knew that it would make my insurance go sky high rocket, right? So I was like, let me try to fix this privately. No one else was involved, no one was hurt or anything like that. So in the end, my sister recommended this guy who is quite like dodgy. He's also Vietnamese, you know, we have to be dodgy. She recommended me to take it to this guy because this guy, he does it for cheaper, he doesn't pay as much for labour. So the only bad thing about this guy, because he was so cheap, he only works from like 11 or 12 p.m. at night time. He works all throughout the night and then he goes sleep during the day. That was just his schedule. He likes working at night time because he likes to be peaceful. I don't know why, guys. Even like now, sometimes when I see him, I'm like, why do you still work in the nighttime, guy? And he used to talk so much shit. He used to be like the nicest guy, but he used to be one of those people that will never stop talking. So when we're there, we're just like, trying to talk about the car. He was just talking about all this like freaking bankruptcy in the world, all these freaking bad politicians and all this shit. I'm just like, I don't really care, just fix my car, go change my oil, bitch. So we went to go and see this guy, and he ended up getting me a new bumper. We had to get a new engine, but in then the engine was faulty, so we ended up having to change back the engine and take it off the bracket and put it onto this and blah blah blah. So it ended up costing me quite a bit of money, but not as much as how much it would have been insurance wise. You know, my insurance would have gone up and my car being labelled as a Cat D and blah blah blah. In the end, we fixed it all and everything like that, and I ended up just about selling my car probably last month. So I had the car. I loved my Igo so much, guys. It was one of those cars. It was a 1 litre. It was like £30 to fill up, like a full tank for like 2 weeks. And yeah, I just loved it so much. Gran hated the fucking car. And the only bad thing was it had such a small boot and it had a 2-door. So it was so annoying when you had other people trying to get out of the car and you had to get out and like push the seat forward and stuff like that. But I literally loved it. And now we've changed our car now. We've got a stupid 2 litre Golf TGI, whatever. Was it TGI? GTI. I think it's TGI Fridays. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. I can finally breathe, I talk so much. So that was a story of how I crashed my car, my pervy ass driving instructor, and how I finally passed my driving test. So if you guys want to see more story times, please comment them down below. I have loads of more story times about how I used to be a thief, how I became more confident, my fortune teller story times. I've got so many more. So comment down below what other story times you want to see. I've also got a Mac Part 2 video. That's a good one, where everyone was nearly going to get fired because of a WhatsApp group. That would be a juicy one if I ever told that story. So if you guys haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe before you leave. Also make sure you follow me on all my other social media platforms. It's just xTweely on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!